Though I was originally only going to do the first three, since I never saw this fourth one at first, but after watching on Tubi earlier this month, I threw it into my schedule. So here we go with a review of Scream 4. And is it really as bad, or is it underrated as they say it is? Well, just watch the review. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to y'all as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2011 slasher sequel, unexpected sequel, Scream 4, released by Dimension Films, directed by Wes Craven, one of his last few films before his death a few years later, written by Kevin Williamson. Returning to this include David Arquette, Neve Campbell, and Courtney Cox, plus lots of others: Emma Roberts, Hayden Panettiere, Anthony Anderson, Alison Brie, Adam Brody, Rory Culkin, Marley, Shelton, and a host of others. Now, this film takes place on the 15th anniversary of the original Woodsboro murders and involves Sidney Prescott returning to the town after 10 years, where Ghostface once again begins killing students of Woodsboro High. Like its predecessors, it combines the violence of the slasher genre with elements of black comedy and whodunit mystery to satirize the cliches of film remakes, and this also provides a commentary on the extensive usage of social media and the obsession of internet fame. Well, let's see now. Yeah. But anyway, this, however, got mixed reviews, with the praise for its performances, direction, and humor, but criticism for its lack of scares and reliance on cliched formulas. But many considered it to be an improvement over its predecessor, but however, it only managed to make 97 million worldwide, become the lowest grossing film in the franchise. But anyway, let's get on to our story. On the 15th anniversary of the original Woodsboro massacre, high school students Jenny Randall and Marnie Cooper are murdered by a new ghost face. Yeah, this starts out by seeing a group of young girls seeing what was considered the stab movies. Gee whiz. Yeah, there's several of them. But anyway, now, back to the story. The following day, Sidney Prescott, now 31, returns to Woodsboro to promote her new book with publicist Rebecca Walters. After evidence is found in Sidney's rental car, she becomes a suspect in the murders and must stay in town until they are solved. Sid's cousin, Jill Roberts, who is dealing with the betrayal of her ex-boyfriend Trevor Sheldon, gets a threatening phone call from Ghostface, as does her friend and neighbor Olivia Morse. Jill and Olivia, alongside their friend Kirby Reed, are questioned about their calls by Dewey Riley, who is now the sheriff of Woodsboro, while his deputies G. Hicks, Anthony Perkins, yeah, I'd say named after the big guy of Psycho fame, and Ross Haas, that's an odd name, assist him in the case. Meanwhile, Dewey's wife, Gail Weathers Riley, is struggling with writer's block and decides to investigate the murders instead. Sidney stays with Jill and her Aunt Kate, and later that night, Olivia is killed by Ghostface as Jill and Kirby watch in horror. Sid and Jill rush to save her, but the killer injures them and gets away. At the hospital, Sidney fires Rebecca after learning of her plan to use the murders as a means to increase book sales. Rebecca is subsequently murdered in the parking garage by Ghostface. Gail enlists the help of two high school movie fanatics, Charlie Walker and Robbie Mercer, who explain that the killer is using the rules of movie remakes. Charlie concludes that the killer will likely strike a stab marathon screening party being held that night. Gail goes to the party to investigate, but Ghostface stabs her in the shoulder and flees when Dewey arrives. At Jill's house, Sidney discovers that Haas and Perkins, who were assigned to guard the house, are dead and that Jill has left for Kirby's. Sidney goes down to tell Kate, but Ghostface kills Kate and disappears again. After Hicks arrives, Sidney rushes to Kirby's house to save Jill. And now for the ending. You have 5 seconds to sub this video, go to the description box below, and fast forward to the time below to avoid ending spoilers. Okay, that about covers it. Let us begin the countdown. Okay, you've been warned. Jill, Kirby, Charlie, Robbie, and Trevor are at Kirby's house when Ghostface appears outside and kills a drunken Robbie. Sidney arrives at the house to leave with Jill until they are both chased by Ghostface. Sidney evades the killer and calls Dewey. As Sidney tries to find Jill, Kirby is forced to answer horror movie trivia to save Charlie, just like in the first movie. Yeah, does that ring a bell? Yeah, Charlie happens to be tied up outside. After Kirby answers Ghostface's questions, she goes outside to untie Charlie, who suddenly stabs her in the stomach and reveals himself as Ghostface, before leaving her to die. Sidney is confronted by Charlie and stabbed by Jill, his accomplice. Yeah, Jill explains that her motive was out of anger and jealousy because of the fame that Sid had received for surviving the murders. That they intend to frame Trevor as Ghostface. Charlie then pulls Trevor out of a closet and Jill executes him. And let me tell you, oh wow. She then betrays Charlie and stabs him to death as a means to pin him as Trevor's accomplice and makes herself the sole survivor. Jill stabs Sid in the stomach and mutilates herself to make it seem as if Trevor attacked her. Later, Dewey, Judy, and the rest of the police arrive at the house as Sid and Jill are taken away to the hospital. After discovering that Sidney has survived, Jill goes to Sid's hospital room and attempts to finish her off. But just at that moment, Dewey, Gail, and Judy intervene, having been clued by a detail about Gil's injury that Jill somehow knew. Jill subdues Dewey and Hicks and holds Gail at gunpoint before Sidney incapacitates her with a defibrillator and shoots her dead. Dewey calls in all police units as media reporters outside confirm Jill as the sole surviving hero. End of story. So, what did I think of Scream 4? Well, while I've only seen it one time, which of course was earlier this month on Tubi, I'm gonna say, well, it was factually good in some ways. I liked some of, the kills and what have you. Some of them were pretty bloody and gory and what have you. I have to agree on that. But the turn of events in the ending, that was kind of a surprise to me. Well, the cast, was kind of more a hit than miss. I mean, I factually do agree that Dewey was kind of a little, I don't know, like what Derek said in his review. From Derek's Horror Corner. Yeah, but he was still good in some ways. Courtney Cox was still good, and so was Neve Campbell. I have to give credit to Emma Roberts, who really had lots of nerve in her. She played Jill. Kirby is played by Hayden Panettiere, and Anthony Perkins was played by, Anthony Anderson, of course. His death, I'm gonna say, was okay, but what he said, I just didn't feel too thrilled by that. Even though I kind of didn't mean to laugh, I didn't mean to. Brody playing Ross. Rory Culkin as Charlie. Yes, and I found that's the younger brother to a certain Macaulay Culkin and his other brother, Kieran Culkin. And let's see, Mary McDonnell plays Kate. Marley Shelton, who I've seen in movies like Sugar and Spice, and of course the underrated 2001 slasher Valentine, playing Judy. Alison Brie plays Rebecca. Oh, the list goes on. We also have some special guest appearances from Shanae Grimes. I think I've heard that name. Oh yes, she played Annie on 90210. She appeared in the character in the in-universe film Stab 6. One of the characters was watching that, along with a girl named Sherry, who was played by Lucy Hale. Most of y'all know her from Pretty Little Liars. And then we go to who are watching Stab 7. First, of course, one of them was Kristen Bell. You know who that is, who played Veronica Mars and voiced Anna in the Frozen movies. And Anna Paquin, who, of course, was at the time playing Sookie Stackhouse on HBO's True Blood. Well, that was kind of a big surprise, but anyway. Scream 4 was the final film to be directed by Mr. Wes Craven before he passed away 4 years later. Now, it was followed by Scream, an anthology TV series developed for MTV. But anyway, now Roger L. Jackson, I forgot to mention about this. He's the voice of Ghostface. He did return to do the voice of that character in the third season. That you'll never watched it though. But there's a yet to be titled fifth film in the works, and it'll be coming out in 2022. While I think the story was factually a bit good in ways, not quite as good as the others. I think it still kind of comes as close to being a little bit better than Scream 3. But hey, I liked Scream 3. Scream 4 was the first time once, so it's going to take some time to get up there. The cast, like I said, most of them were pretty good. And let's see, the soundtrack, the score, once again done by Marco Beltrami. Well, that was pretty good. So the question is, would I recommend Scream 4? I'll just say, sure, go ahead. I mean, it may be the lowest budget making, the lowest grossing film in the franchise, it's still worth a try. I mean, I didn't hate Scream 4. I liked most of it, but some of it could have used a little more spin polish though. But nevertheless, it was still a fair comeback. So, what are your thoughts on Scream 4? Tell me in the comments section below, please. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Hocus Pocus. Now, I'll actually have a bonus review coming up tomorrow morning. And remember, this Saturday at 6 o'clock Central, be there on my channel, Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, for our Halloween live stream, where I'm going to be watching the original Halloween 2, and Halloween 2018. Be there, everyone. It's 6 o'clock Central Time this Saturday on Halloween night. Excuse me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, you can see the other 3 Scream movies reviews if you have yet to see them. The upper left-hand corner is the first one. The upper right-hand corner is the second one. The bottom left-hand corner is Scream 3. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe to my channel. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.